My adopted son told me the transfer was temporary. He said, "Mom, sign here so we can lock in a better rate and time the taxes. I'll move it back next week." He brought the paperwork to my kitchen table. The signature lines were already flagged. I asked, "Is this safe?" He said, "Absolutely." I signed. 1 week later, $1 million was gone to an account I do not control. The confirmation emails went to him, not me. My calls rolled to voicemail. My texts showed delivered, never read. When I asked to meet in person, he sent one line, "Please stop contacting me." I raised this boy from age 12. I paid for doctor visits, braces, school clothes, and college deposits. He called me Mom. Today I opened my bank app and saw the balance. No repayment plan. No explanation. No apology. Only silence. Tonight I will say exactly what happened. The American way names, dates, banks, documents, who brought the forms, where I signed, who was present, which device sent the wire, and the exact words that made me trust him. I want a straight answer. Why did temporary become gone? Why did don't worry become don't contact me? If there is a good reason, he can say it to my face. If this was deceit, I want to hear him admit it. And I want clear guidance on what to do next, how to protect what remains of my savings, my credit, and my peace of mind.
Good evening. Welcome to Kitchen Table Talks. I'm Pat Sajak. If you're new here, please subscribe, tap the notification bell, and leave a comment below. Your voice helps these conversations reach more people who need them. Tonight, we're joined by a special guest. Thank you for being here and for trusting us with your story. To start, would you please introduce yourself, your name, your age, and where you're joining us from?
Hello, I'm Margaret Ellis. I'm 75 years old, and I'm joining you from Columbus, Ohio. Thank you for having me on Kitchen Table Talks.
Margaret, thank you for being here. To help us all understand, could you take us back to the very beginning? When was the first time your son brought up the $1 million transfer? What exactly did he say, and what happened step by step from that moment to the day the money moved?
The first time he mentioned it was a Sunday in late March. He came over with a Kroger bagged chicken noodle soup, cinnamon rolls, and a new phone charger he said he got on sale. We were at my kitchen table in Columbus, the same table where I signed his middle school permission slips. He said, "Mom, with rates jumping around, your CD is expiring at the credit union. I can help you get a better APY if we move it for just a week. We'll lock it in and move it right back." He was so gentle about it. He'd been helping me with online banking since my cataract surgery. He set up my phone. He labeled the apps. He even made me a little list. Open bank, Face ID, tap accounts. So when he used those bank words, rollover, rate lock, penalty-free window, I believed he knew what he was doing. He said, "I'll do the paperwork. You just have to sign where it's flagged." The next Wednesday, he came back with a navy blue folder. Inside, printed forms with yellow tabs, a little spreadsheet that said projected interest gain, and a sticky note that read temporary transfer. Mom retains full ownership. He put a man on speakerphone, Kyle, from the bank. Kyle said, "We can place a hold at 4.9% if we see movement by Friday. All FDIC insured. Very standard." I heard office sounds behind him. It felt real. My son squeezed my shoulder and said, "We're just optimizing. 1 week." He slid the forms to me. A transfer authorization, a new account application just to receive the funds, and something he called a limited authorization so he could talk to the bank on my behalf while I was at a medical checkup. I asked, "Is this safe?" He said, "Absolutely, Mom. I'll be sitting next to you the whole time." We filled in my name and address. He typed on his iPad to speed it up. When verification codes came to my phone, he read them back for me to enter. Two-factor, he said. He kept one of the forms to scan for records and promised to email me copies. I signed where the yellow flags were. He hugged me twice before he left. By Friday afternoon, he texted, "All set, great rate." I didn't see any new balance in my app, but he said transfers don't always show until Monday. He sent 3 heart emojis and a picture of his dog sleeping on my old quilt. Monday morning, I opened my bank app. The $1 million CD redemption was gone, and my checking showed a wire transfer to an external account ending in 7,132. I didn't recognize the name, E. Collins Revocable Trust. Collins is his last name. I called the credit union. The woman said, "Yes, Miss Ellis. We have signed authorization and an approved external link." The confirmation went to the email on file. I said, "What email?" She read an address with his name in it. I never saw those messages. I called him. Voicemail. I texted, "Honey, I'm confused. Please come over." He replied, "Busy, Mom. It's fine." I asked for the copies of what I'd signed. No reply. I asked for a meeting, just him and me. He sent one line back, "Please stop contacting me." I sat at that same kitchen table and tried to breathe. I remembered the first day we met at the foster agency. When he was 12, how small his backpack looked, how carefully he folded his acceptance letter when he got into community college. I remembered braces, soccer cleats, the winter we did Christmas Eve at Waffle House, because money was tight and we laughed anyway. I wanted to believe him. I did believe him. He knew exactly how to make me feel safe. The soup, the tech help, the bank talk with a friendly voice on speaker. He gave me hope that I was doing something smart, like a teammate in my corner. And then, when the money moved, it was like the floor dropped out from under the chair I've sat in for 20 years. That's my story. Names, dates, banks, documents. I'm not here to scream. I'm here to ask, why did temporary become gone? And why did a son I raised decide that silence was easier than looking his mother in the eye? I want my copies. I want my voice back. And I want to learn how to protect what's left my savings, my credit, and whatever we can save of our family.
Margaret, thank you for walking us through something that could break anyone's heart and for doing it with such clarity and grace. What strikes me most is how ordinary detailed soup on the stove, a blue folder, a friendly voice on speaker became turning points for your trust. I hear 3 threads in your story: the shock of realizing decisions were happening around you, the confusion of how temporary became gone, and the quiet grief for the son you poured so much love into. I want to say plainly, your feelings are valid here. At this table, we don't rush to judgment. We make room for the truth and for the person telling it. Before we talk about next steps, I'd like to return to the center of this issue, because decisions are easier to make when we name what's pressing on the heart. So as gently as I can ask, when you opened your banking app that Monday and saw the money had moved, what was the very first feeling that hit you? And now, having told the story out loud from start to finish, which feeling is closest to you in this moment? If it helps, keep it to a word or two. We'll begin right there.
The first feeling was a physical drop, like my stomach forgot where it belonged. I stared at the number in my banking app and it would not change, no matter how many times I blinked. Then came heat in my face and a tightness in my chest I couldn't swallow past. The word that arrived was simple and sharp: hurt. Not the kind you can ice, the kind that makes your hands shake when you set the phone down. And then, almost immediately, my mind left that screen and went years back to the day at the foster agency when I first saw him. He was small for 12, standing too straight in shoes that were half a size too big. His backpack was clean but frayed at the strap, and he kept tugging it up his shoulder every few seconds like he was scared it would slip away. When the caseworker said my name, he looked up without moving his head, just his eyes, careful and watchful. Then he smiled on quick, shy flicker that disappeared as if he wasn't sure he was allowed to keep it. I remember he said, "Yes, ma'am, to everything. Would you like some juice?" "Yes, ma'am." "Do you want to sit by the window?" "Yes, ma'am." He held the little carton with both hands, elbows tucked in, and tried to avoid dripping on the paperwork. When I handed him a napkin, he folded it into a neat square before dabbing the corner of his mouth. He counted the crackers in the bowl and pushed half toward me without a word. That's the boy I took home. Careful, polite, measuring the room to see where he fit. I remember our first grocery trip. He stood at the end of the aisle and read the list out loud, like we were studying for a test together. Milk, eggs, bread, spaghetti, apples. He asked if we could get the red apples because the green ones made his teeth feel squeaky. He hung his coat on the back of the chair exactly the way I showed him. And when I forgot and dropped my keys on the counter, he picked them up and put them in the little dish we bought for that purpose. He wanted to do things right. He wanted to be wanted. The first time he laughed out loud in our house was over a burned grilled cheese. I left the pan too long, and the smoke alarm screeched. He jumped, then covered his ears, then looked at my face, and when he saw I was laughing at myself, he laughed too. Not a polite, laugh a real one that tilted his head back. After that, he started bringing me little things he thought I needed. A sticky note that said, "Don't forget water plants," a charger for the car, a magnet for the fridge shaped like Ohio with a star where Columbus is. Those are the details that arrived when I saw the money gone. His careful hands, his "yes, ma'am," the way he would check a door twice to make sure it was locked, because that's what families do. I don't understand how the boy who folded napkins and shared crackers with me became a man who would flag signature lines and tell me to stop contacting him. That gap is the part that hurts the most. It's not just the money, though the money matters. It's the trust I built with 1,000 small momensa homework check, a late pickup from practice, a cup of soup when he had the flu, and the feeling that he took those moments and used them to teach me how to believe him. Right now, if you ask me what I feel besides hurt, I would say grief. Not only for what's missing from my account, but for the version of us I thought we were still growing into. I know he is not the boy at the agency anymore. I know life complicates people. But I need him to remember that the woman on the other end of those forms is the same one who kept a seat for him at the table every single night. I need him to meet my eyes again and speak plainly. If there's a reason, say it. If there's a mistake, own it. If there's a way back, it starts with the words I taught him to use. I'm sorry. And how do we make this right?
Margaret, thank you for opening your heart all the way. I hear two clear rhythms in what you shared. One is the cold, sudden pain staring at a number that won't change no matter how many times you blink. The other is warm the small memories rushing back. The soft "yes ma'am," the neatly folded napkin, the first real laugh over a burned grilled cheese. Those two rhythms woven together are why today hurts so deeply. They land right where family used to hold you steady. I want to say this plainly, your feelings are completely valid here. At this table, we don't rush to judge. We hold a gentle space for truth and for kinship to breathe. What moves me most is that even in your hurt, you spoke about your son in the language of love the frayed backpack, the shared crackers, the dog asleep on your old quilt. Those aren't side details. That's the history of a family, the red thread that keeps you hoping for conversation instead of closing the door. And because we are speaking the language of family, let me ask this softly so the next step can start from your heart. After that Monday morning after, the call went to voicemail and the text said, "Please stop contacting me. What did you do next to try to reach your son in a way that might touch his heart? Did you ask a mutual relative or family friend to pass along a message, write a handwritten letter, or leave one short line so he'd know, Mom is here when you're ready?" I'm not asking to reopen the wound. I'm asking so we can see whether there is still a gentle, clear path in the house of your family, something you might try again, so that if there's ever a seat open at the old table, we know which warm, honest sentence to begin with.
After that Monday morning, I started with gentle contact. I sent one short text. "I'm home. I'm worried. Please come talk to me." No reply. That afternoon, I called rang, then voicemail. I left a message. "I'm not here to scold you. I just want to understand. Come for dinner. I'll make the pasta you love. Silence. The next day, I asked Aunt Caroltha, one who drove him to soccer tryouts in 8th grade, pass along a note. I miss you. Your mother is crying. Please text her. She told me he saw it and didn't respond. I wrote a handwritten letter, sealed it, stamped it, and asked a neighbor to deliver it to his apartment. I kept it to 3 things: why I trusted him, what I'm afraid of now, and an invitation to meet at our little diner on Parsons where we always split pie. I signed, Love, Mom. 3 days later, it came back, refused. I tried love first, sent an old photo him laughing over the burnt grilled cheese, his dog asleep on my quilt with the line, "We have been happy in this house." Don't let a stack of papers kill our laughter. Still nothing. I softened further. I pleaded, if you're in trouble, say so. I don't need all of it at once. Give me a monthly plan. I only need the truth, not one word. Then the anger hit. I texted, you deceived me. I will call an attorney. I will take this as far as I need to. He answered for the first time in weeks. Please stop contacting me. It was so cold I felt my hand leave the phone without knowing where to set it. I learned fast that threats don't reach a heart that is hiding. So I went back to kindness. I asked Coach Rodriguez, his high school soccer coach, to try a call. The coach got through, but my son only said, I'm busy. Everything's under control. Coach urged me to stay steady and keep sending short, respectful emails, so there's a record and a path back if he wants one. I shifted to the gestures he used to understand. I sent a hot meal to his door through a delivery service with the note, no need to open just dinner. I left a small box on his doorstep, his framed community college diploma, and a card in my handwriting. I'm still your mom. When you're ready, our table is here. The courier reported, recipient refused. At every step I've logged, the dates, screenshots, delivery receipts, and the exact words I used. Not to build a case against my child, but to remind myself I did everything a mother can do without losing her dignity. In the same breath, I called the bank to change emails and passwords, freeze non-essential transfers, and I asked my closest friend to review paperwork with me so I protect both my heart and my pantry. The hardest part is choosing a tone between love and anger. I'm choosing the voice of home. Few words, no insults, one message repeated, I am here. I want the truth. If you're stuck, we can untangle it. If you were wrong, we can fix it. Maybe he can't hear it today, but I will keep one door open, a letter in the mail, a chair at the table, a warm supper so if his heart gets tired, he'll know how to find his way back. As for the money, I will protect what remains with professional help. I'm not pretending that part doesn't matter. It does. But every night, before I turn out the light, I still send one line. I will not give up on you. Then I set the phone down, breathe, and make room for tomorrow. Because family, if there is any hope at all, needs space to come home.
Margaret, thank you for trying love first, for staying respectful even when the door kept closing, and for protecting both your heart and your pantry at the same time. I want to acknowledge what you did here. You reached out softly, you tried through family, you wrote by hand, you sent a meal, you even placed a piece of his Pride's diploma on the doorstep. You showed up as a mother, not a plaintiff. And when anger broke through, as it naturally would, you still found your way back to the voice of home. That takes strength and a kind of steady courage we don't celebrate enough. For anyone watching, this is what careful love looks like under pressure. Short, kind messages, an open chair at the table, clear records and practical safeguards. Margaret didn't choose between love and boundary, she held both. That balance matters because it leaves a light on without burning the house down. I also hear the grief in your words, the grief for the boy at the agency with the frayed strap and the yes ma'am, and for the version of your family you thought you were still building. Grief can tempt us to chase, to bargain, to threaten. You tried those roads and learned quickly what does and doesn't reach a hiding heart. That wisdom is hard-earned. So let's keep this rooted in family and in what you can live with tomorrow morning. You've left one door open, calm, visible, waiting. You've shored up your accounts and asked trusted eyes to read with you. That is a strong place to stand.
If I had to put it in one word, it's pain and, right behind it, betrayal. I haven't slept much. Every time I close my eyes, I'm back at the kitchen table, the blue folder, the yellow flags on the signature lines, the way he said, "It's fine, Mom," with that practiced calm that used to reassure me. I raised this boy on small, ordinary faithfulness, reheated dinners, late-night pickups, braces payments, Saturday soccer on cold bleachers. I truly believed those little threads had woven a roof we could both stand under. Finding out they could be pulled tight around my chest, that is the part that hurts the most. I decided I would keep my dignity and do what needed doing. I gathered everything: texts, emails, screenshots, statements, dates and times of every call. Even the envelope stamped "refused." I wrote a clear timeline from the Sunday soup to the Monday balance. Then I hired an attorney. I handed over the whole file and said 3 things, simply: the context of my signing, where the money went according to the records, and what I want now: truth, accountability, and a path to make it right. My attorney sent a formal demand for copies of all documents I signed, full transaction logs, and the basis for the transfer. He also requested a meeting with a neutral third party to discuss returning the funds or creating a repayment plan. I won't talk legal strategy here, that belongs with the professionals. My job is to stay steady, protect what remains, and not lose myself. Here are the lessons I'm carrying forward, spoken in the language of family, learned the hard way. Love is not a substitute for consent. A child is a child, and paper is paper. No one, however, loved Jets to decide for my heart or my money without me present and informed. Never sign while your heart is shaking. Build in a cooling-off period at least 72 hours to read, ask, and have an independent person review. No signing at a front desk, no signing in a rush. Keep the keys in your own hand. Emails, passwords, and 2-factor authentication must be mine. Any temporary authorization needs firm limits and a written revocation once the task is done. Document everything. Dates, times, exact wording, not to punish, but to protect the truth when feelings rise and fall. Hold both love and boundaries. I will keep one door open, a chair at the table, a handwritten card that says, "I'm here when you're ready." I will also lock the doors that must be locked so the bleeding stops. I still hope he knocks one day, looks me in the eye, and says, "I'm sorry. How do we fix this, Mom?" If that day comes, I will listen clear-eyed, no more fog. Until then, I walk forward with 2 things side by side: a mother's love and self-respect. My lawyer will do his part. I'll do mine: cook my dinner, water my plants, and send one short line before I turn out the light. I won't give up on you, but I will not give up on myself.
Margaret, thank you for trusting us with something this hard. You've shown all of us what steady courage looks like, holding love and boundaries at the same time, leaving one warm door open while protecting yourself with clear steps. Your clarity, dignity, and heart are a powerful model for families facing their own storms. Friends watching at home, I'd love to hear your feelings. If you were in Margaret's place or in her son's, what part of this story hit you the hardest? And if you had to offer just one gentle sentence to a loved one in a moment like this, what would you say? Drop that single line in the comments below. Your words might be the lifeline someone else needs tonight. If this conversation gave you language for something tender in your own life, please subscribe to Kitchen Table Talks, tap the notification bell, and share this episode with someone who could use a calmer place to begin. We read your comments, we learn from them, and we bring your wisdom back to the table. Margaret, again, thank you for your openness and grace. And to everyone here, thank you for pulling up a chair, listening without rushing to judge, and choosing the next right step with care. We'll see you next time.